wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up.
Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning to you.
It is a wonderful Wednesday. Good morning to you wherever you are. Thank you so much for waking up with us to keep us company on Morning Barbados. Thank you also for joining us on our Facebook and YouTube streams. As always, wonderful having you company. I do encourage you to continue interacting with us and among yourselves as well. Drop a comment any old time on our Facebook page. We'll be happy to share that comment related to what we're talking about today as well. Now, the question of today is a really cool question. The question is, if you could be a fly on the wall, where would that be? You know, you say to yourself, oh, I wish I could have been the fly on that wall just to get a little bit of scoop of what's been discussed. Where would that be? Get ready to give me a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563, or drop your comment on our Facebook chat as well. I'd love to hear from you. If you could be a fly on the wall, where would that be? Now, in getting ready for the show today, I heard from some of the colleagues with whom I work. One wanted to be a fly on the wall of the Oval Office. They want to hear all the secrets, all the plans, all of the preparations for this or that, and to just get into Trump's ears, so to speak, to buzz for just a moment. So if you could be a fly on the wall, where would you want to be? Another one of my colleagues thought, you know what, I would want to be on the wall of Wall Street, because when it comes to trading and making money, I want to hear the scoop. I want to be able to say, you know what, move some funds over there because they're planning this or that. So they want to be able to benefit in that significant way as well. So if you could be the fly on the wall, where would you want to be? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Another colleague thought, you know what? I'd love to be a wall in the CEO's office. Yeah, boy. Let's hear those plans. Let's hear what they're talking about, who's being chastised or whatever the case may be. So whose wall would you want to be on if you were a fly? And then there's another which I can't share with you, which was so hilarious, had us rolling on the floor in here in preparation for the show. So can't share that one with you, but it is so funny. Well done, Peter. Well done indeed. Now, coming up today on the show, we'll connect with the National Council on Substance Abuse. As you know, this month has been Drug Awareness Month, and as the month ends, there's a survey. And so we can't get into the details of the survey, but we want to know what they surveyed. And we'll also be connecting today with a recovery coach and addiction counselor to hear about his services and how he's helping those get back on track and to stay on track as well. But I believe we do have a call. Good morning. Hello.
You're yours.
Likewise to you, Gail.
A wonderful Wednesday.
If you could be a fly on the wall, where would you want to be?
The Prime Minister's office.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
So that I can hear all the meetings and what's going on.
You're malicious. That's what it was. You're malicious. You're gypsy.
I'm malicious? No, I want to know. I am a struggler. I'm a sufferer, so I want to know if you can make sure that me and my people are all right.
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
So you're taking a selfish approach, but that's all right, Gail. Thank you very much.
I'm not selfish.
But Gail, you know me. You know I'm kidding with you.
Oh.
Come on, girl. Have a good morning, all right? Right, so if you could be a fly on the wall, where would you want to be? Coming up today as well, we want to look at some lower urinary tract infections, prostate in particular. So gentlemen, have a keen ear on when we meet with our urologist, Dr. Paul Rouse, in just a little while. Have you heard of Bamboo Retreat? It's a place that you need to be. We'll tell you why when we're joined this morning as we take a look at the Bamboo Retreat. Also today, as we continue our conversation on turning conflict into connection, and you remember last week we started to talk about that, we thought we should continue. Today I want to look particularly at how to win the battle and not lose the war. How to win the battle and not lose the war. So Don Lovell will be coming to talk to us a little bit more about that as we have our conversations on HR with HERMAP. So look out for that as well. We'll hear today as well about an upcoming activity by the Christchurch Parish Church, and they'll join us to talk more about how you can be a part. CIBC Caribbean has an interesting proposal for you if you're into business, turning that business into success. So the business banking approach of CIBC is what we want to look at today. We'll also be connecting today with a journalist out of Trinidad and Tobago who has released his first book, 16 Years in the Making, and it's a very interesting tale. I'd like to hear from him whether it is about him or if it's just purely fiction. But it's quite a journey. I think it will be interesting reading. We want to hear about that as well. Carnival is on, and so we're connecting with the award-winning Olu Tunje and Preedy, another soca artist out of Trinidad and Tobago. We want to hear about how the season has been treating them and a whole lot more. And I promise you this week we'll have a double whammy of Q in the community. I know your ears just pricked. It's like, what? Yes, we'll tell you when and where when we're joined by our marketing specialist a little later on. But today is the birthday of Richard Kelman. It's the 29th of January, and so Richard, today is your birthday. Congratulations to you. Richard is a keen listener to Q100.7 FM. He watches us as well on Morning Barbados. He's one of our early morning wall crawlers. So to you, Richard, happy birthday to you from the entire family with loads and loads of love, and including us here at the CBC as well. Let's get started, ladies and gentlemen, as you continue to ponder. If you were a fly on the wall, where would you want to be? Comment, 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 or call, call, call. So, National Council on Substance Abuse is concluding its Drug Awareness Month activities. And so we're joined this morning by Substance Abuse Prevention Officer at the NCSA, Makeda Bourne. You know her well. We know her well in the media as well. And David Waith, who himself is a recovery coach and addiction counselor. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados.
Thank you so much for joining us. Talk to me, Makeda, because there's a survey, the results of which will be revealed today, later today. What did that survey seek to capture?
Okay, just a little background. Today we are releasing the report for the Barbados Drug Information Network. That is basically where we collect information, secondary data, from different treatment and prevention agencies. The information fed into this report helps us to get a sense in real time what is happening in Barbados as it relates to drugs and the movement with trends. So this afternoon at 2 p.m., we'll be releasing those findings. So Barbados can feel free to log on to our Facebook page, YouTube channel. We'll be streaming it live so that they can hear firsthand from our Research and Information Officer, Mrs. Laura Foster, those findings from the research, which includes some drug trends changes. And then we are seeing a shift towards the new psychoactive drugs. So we want Barbados to log on and really hear what is happening to the different age groups and to the different, is it male, female, and the changes that are happening out there.
Why is it important for us to know what's happening out there?
In Barbados, we have to do programming based on evidence base. So based on the research, then that will inform what programs we will do. So no longer are we feeling good, so we decide, oh, this is the program we're going to do because I think, but you have to show why you are going to do our research. Having such reports like Barbados Drug Information Network, it allows us to be more effective at National Council on Substance Abuse and the right of nation, because anyone can use our reports. They're on our websites afterwards. So having those information allow us to be timely in addressing what is happening in our nation. So we are not addressing a situation with an age group that happened, for instance, 20 years ago, but then they are using a different drug now. But we can be timely in our approach at National Council on Substance Abuse.
You talk about the trend growing in psychoactive drugs. I know in the reports leading up to today, we were hearing about this connection with South America, these new drugs being introduced into the market space as well. But younger and younger people are admitting themselves to the abuse of substances. Knowing all of this, what approach do you think the NCSA is up and looking at to be able to respond?
So our theme this year is NCSA strengthening prevention, because we recognize to get the work done, we have to do it with partners. Just like CBC getting the information out there for us, having the information running, this is important because we cannot do it by ourselves. And we have to continue to strengthen our prevention programs with the individual, families, workplaces, in the communities, and NCSA, although we are small in number, we try to get as many places as possible. We were just doing information with precinct training, for instance. We are in primary schools, secondary schools. We go into communities. We were in St. Lucie a couple of weeks ago. So we are trying to get out there that person have factual information, because we also in a case where, for instance, people think that marijuana is legal in Barbados. but it is not. So we have to be out there trying to get that information out there that persons are not going with this misnotions and that they're not going to apply this misinformation then in their household as well. Unfortunately, as you said, we have young persons who are at 8 years old. Research is showing that admit to being exposed to a drug. And research also shows that the person that introduces young people to a drug, firstly, is the family member. So that uncle, that mother, that father, cousins, those are usually the chief ones to introduce. So we want family members to understand how dangerous it is for the health of that child who is still growing and how they're diverting the future of that young person by exposing them to drugs at such an early age.
And so this is where the partnership comes in with you, David, because yours is a story to tell. You walked the walk, and now you are helping those who were at some point like you to be the better you now. Talk to me a little bit about your journey and the work that you now do.
I'm going on to about 30 years now in recovery. I used to work in the government, and then I resigned from the government. I went to work at the SAF, which is Vernon House. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is because I felt I needed more in a place like that I can give more of myself, because those are the people that I wanted to help at that time. I still continue. My journey at Vernon is based on recovery, dealing with the steps, dealing with community, finding the person, help to find themselves, and then work on relapse prevention to stop them from actually going back out. So we put measures in place, things in place. We deal with triggers, the people that they used to be with. We help them to understand that they need to keep away from those individuals. Back in my day, I'd been in school at Comamera. I had a very nice school, but somewhere along the line, I followed the wrong company. I was very curious. My curiosity got me to the point that I was in active use for about 25 years and change. Within that period, I've lost family, I've lost a lot of things. My job, fortunate for me at that time, I was in government, so they had to put when I got paid, the house I was in, they used to take out for the house, so that's why I wasn't on the streets, but I wasn't far from at that point. I was married, first wife. I have a son from that marriage. Now I'm married again. I have a daughter. So life for me now is a lot better. I enjoy what I do. My journey at Vernon, I've been to Vernon the 1st of June 2000. I actually opened Vernon. I'm still around, thank God. But we're getting people coming to Vernon now at like 18, because we are an adult facility, so we came from 18. So we got persons from 18 going up. And persons, as Bakir was saying, the persons are using drugs like Molly and these type of psychedelic drugs that really have these people head kind of off. You find them coming, they have to go and get detox, and then we can't put them straight into the program, so they have to detox for about maybe 12 to 14 days, and that is where you have to put them aside, give them so that they can thaw out, because the thawing out of today is a totally different bug than yesterday. Mm-hmm. So that's what I do. I belong to a 12-step fellowship, where that is my goal. We call it goal thing, like what we call church, but it has kept me through the years.
And you've done well. 30 years.
30 years, only 70th of February.
You know it to the T.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
It's important, therefore, for you to be able to mark the time, because it keeps you aware of the progress and the journey.
Yes.
And so this is absolutely critical. But David just said something about Vernon and Marina House as being an adult treatment facility, but we see younger people. What's the facility for them, Makeda, to be able to receive this similar or better treatment?
Okay, so at National Council on Substance Abuse, we work closely with schools, as well as the law enforcement, the courts, probation, etc. So at NCSA, we do counseling with young persons that are school age. After assessment, if there's a case that we need to refer them, we may refer them out to different agencies as well, which includes CASA, Thrive at Psychiatric Hospital, because depending the need, we need them to start, like David said, so that they can get the correct treatment.
You're also having a speech competition. Talk to
yes.
us a little bit about that. Your smile, she's all excited about this.
Yes. We started off with around 26 children, and personally, you would have been proud of them. This program is in the second year, and we are going to be having the finals on Friday. It's going to be at Prince Cave Hall, District A Police Station. And the retirees, you are invited to come on out as well and hear these 10 finalists that are there and ready to give their information on what they learned. And they were trained by, and we partnered with Toastmasters Barbados, who helped train them. So this speech contest, we want Barbados to come and be a part of the here, or they will hear it later when we post more information from that competition.
It's at the Prince Cave Hall, District A. What time does it start on Friday?
We start at 10 a.m.
We're just showing on our screen some of the finalists, the
Yes.
10 finalists. And there is only one male. Did I detect that?
Yes, unfortunately, but prior to that, we did have more males, so we were proud of that as well. And we had males who did pretty well, but the competition was so close. Unfortunately, only one got in.
That's all right. But it's going to be quite an interesting final indeed. It's Friday, but today is the result of the Bardin survey, which we'd like everyone to tune into.
Yes, please.
What time is that?
That's 2 p.m. this
2 o'clock.
afternoon.
So send to all the social medias of the NCSA
Yes.
and YouTube, Facebook as well,
Yes.
and your website, I believe
Yes,
you said.
please.
All of those sources, and of course you can see the report later on the news, but watch it for yourself live so that you get a sense of what the survey reports and the things that as a parent, an adult, and a contributing member to society we need to be mindful of. And to know what the treatment options are, you can continue to connect with the NCSA, because the NCA continues to be able to not just bring it to our attention, but to provide solutions in a very real and meaningful way in partnership with other agencies on the island as well. They're signaling me I'm out of time. But I have to ask one question of the day. If you could be the fly on the wall, where would that be? David, I'll start with you. Where would that be?
I would like to be out of Earth, we call it orbit, just to look down to see, to view everyone, to find
You
out
want to be there by God?
No, not that far. But that I can just be outside of that little globe and just look
circle the
in
earth.
and just observe.
And then what would you do with your observations?
I don't know. My
just
thing
want
is
to know.
You just want to know, just observe how people move about, how they operate. Zoom in to go, every can zoom in and hear what is going on.
Fair enough. You can do that with a drone, you know. So, Makeda, what about you? If you could be a fly on the wall, where
Well,
would that be?
I'm still thinking, but I think off of my head, I would like to be somewhere that probably hear someone talking probably about the impact of my work on them.
Yeah?
Yeah, because sometimes you, in this line of business, sometimes you feel discouraged, like, am I really getting through? And we do have one stories that will come in and on time to inject you and say, listen, you guys didn't know how much you helped my family and I. So being in a place where you could be encouraged, I think that would be the most for me.
Listen, folks, let's buzz the NCSA today. If you have some success stories, call them.
Yes, please.
Share those success stories. They would love to hear. Let's encourage them today as well. Thank you so much, Makeda Bourne and David Waith, for joining us this morning. All the best with your future endeavors.
And
Thank you
sir.
very much.
You're welcome. We're taking a break. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the
22 minutes after 6 o'clock. This has been a good year so far. I'm getting to meet the people who I would see on that little box in person. Wonderful today is Dr. Paul Rouse, my lookalike. Dr. Rouse, good morning.
Good morning, person. Good
So
morning,
good to meet
Barbados.
you in person.
Good to see you again in person.
You know you're taller than I thought.
Oh, okay.
And that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That's a really good thing.
Thanks.
But let's get serious.
Yeah.
Because today you're looking at a very serious subject, lower urinary tract infections, and particularly as it affects the symptoms and treatment options as well.
Yes.
Particularly as it relates to the men. I know it affects women as well.
Correct.
So where do we start with investigating this?
Right. So first, I'd like to define it. As you mentioned, lower urinary tract symptoms, or what we, in medicine, you see a lot of these three-letter mnemonics, lots, is when you have these perceived symptoms arising from the bladder. In most cases, most people relate it to the bladder. Things like frequent urination, urgent urination, something we call hesitancy, or this is where you start and stop when you're passing your urine, getting back night, that's what we call nocturia, burning sensation when you pass urine, pain in lower abdomen, in the, what we call the suprapubic area, but just where in the bladder area. These are the sort of symptoms that you can expect, or what we call lower urinary tract symptoms. The importance is that, yes, it may be related to the urinary system, most commonly the bladder, but it can also be from other systems throughout the body.
Like the prostate?
Like the prostate. Well, the prostate, bladder are closely interrelated, but also it can be, for example, from heart disease.
Really?
So when you have heart disease or heart failure, your heart's not working very well, you tend to retain fluid, retain urine, retain fluid. And for example, a lot of people with heart disease will notice that their legs are quite swollen as the day goes on. And that's really because your heart's not working efficiently, and blood is pooling in the lower limbs, the fluid is seeping out into your tissues. But then at night, when you lie down, for example, then that fluid returns to the general circulation. You have to pass that fluid out, and you get up several times at night. A lot of people then perceive that might be coming from the bladder, from the lower urinary tract, and hence thinking that there's a problem with their bladder and prostate, but actually it's a heart problem. So that's one message I want to bring forward first is that it's important to start with your general practitioner.
Right.
My general practitioner colleagues are really good, okay,
Yes.
in terms of deciphering what problems it could be. It could be heart disease, it could be respiratory disease, it can be kidney disease, not necessarily a urological problem. So that's why it's so important to start with your general practitioner. I got a lot of patients calling directly, oh, I want to see doctor, I think my bladder is giving a lot of trouble. And then they get a little bit concerned when you ask them to see their GPs first, because a lot of times it is not necessarily from the lower urinary tract. That's why it's so important. For example, diabetes.
Hypertension?
Uncontrolled, well, hypertension may do it because that might cause heart disease, but for example, uncontrolled diabetes, because your blood sugar is very, very high, you spill a lot of sugar in your urine, glucose in your urine, and that pulls water out with it. And therefore you go frequently, you go urgently, you get up at night, but really and truly it's actually your uncontrolled diabetes. So that's why it's so important to start with the general practitioner first, let them do the initial assessments, and then when it's really specific for the lower urinary tract, when it's the bladder or the prostate, then that's where I come into play.
Breathe easy, person. Breathe easy. All right. I'm clear. I'm clear on all of that. So don't just run to the urologist first. Check your GP, and then you might be directed to the urologist.
Correct.
And if you are directed, there are many. When it comes to you now,
Yes.
this is where it's something a little bit more serious that needs a little more attention.
So when your GP thinks it's arising from the bladder/prostate, yes, I'm a urologist, so a lot of my work has to do with men, but women as well, okay? So for example, again, there's another point I want to bring across. That can be your bladder sometimes, and this can be very frustrating. Because for example, women do not have prostates, but they get a lot of frequency, a lot of urgency, getting up at night as well. So that's why it's so important to have that initial assessment. Yes, I can deal with bladder issues, so there's certain things like what we call bladder overactivity, although it sounds contrary, that need to go frequently, go urgently. It can be an inherent problem with the bladder. And then also, unfortunately, as you get older, just like any other muscle, your bladder gets weaker.
I was just going to say that.
Right. So it doesn't work as efficiently as it would normally in terms of emptying the bladder. You can retain a lot more urine, and then because your bladder is fixed, there's just so much it can hold. Therefore, if it's already partially filled with what we call a chronic urinary retention, then you go a lot more frequently.
Why can't it just empty?
Well, in case now,
why doesn't it just empty?
because unfortunately, as you do get older, the bladder loses function. So that is why that's why the assessment by the urologist then becomes important. So it might not necessarily be always a prostate problem, it can actually be a bladder problem. And back in the 80s and 90s, when we first discovered surgical management, TURP, etc., we were doing it for every man that got through the door with lower urinary tract symptoms, BPH in those days, we used to call it prostatism. And we realized that these men weren't getting better because, quite frankly, it wasn't actually the prostate, it was actually your bladder dysfunction that arises as you get older. So that's some of the things I take my time to go through with patients when they come to me, because that's a real problem. They go from doctor to doctor, trying this remedy, trying that remedy, when really and truly, unfortunately, bladder, yes, we have some remedies now to help, but not as effective as we like all the time.
You know, our first thought is to drink less. That should solve the problem.
Yes. And that's one of the first instincts. You realize that when you drink water, some people say, oh, like it's going right through me. I drink it and I go into the bathroom the next time. Not good, because then you're going to trade one problem for the next, namely stone disease. If you decrease your fluid intake, you're really putting yourself up for that. So it's important to drink. Obviously, it would make sense that when you're going out and out in public, of course, you don't want to use public bathrooms as much. That may reduce your fluid intake around those times, but certainly try to make up for it when you return home.
Link this to the bladder, to the prostate.
So now, for a lot of my work will be dealing with
because as we grow older, the prostate is going to enlarge.
Correct, gets bigger. I'm hoping a lot of patients know that where your prostate is now, your prostate sits below your bladder. Unfortunately, I didn't walk with a pen today, but just like how my fist is around my finger, that's how your prostate is around the initial part of your water passage. Your bladder will be here like this. And as a young man, your prostate is nice and wide open, a nice clear channel. But as you get older, as it gets bigger, it develops something we call BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. This is where the glands within the prostate become more numerous and they become hypertrophied, and then it tends to occlude the water passage. That's what we call the Lux BPH complex that unfortunately a lot of us will get as we get older. And the symptoms can vary. Some men can have very mild symptoms without, maybe get up once or so every night, but then you can have men getting up 4, 5, 6 times at night. And then the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of men think automatically once you have the symptoms that I have a big prostate. No, actually sometimes you can have a small prostate. So the average size of a young man is about 20 grams. I would say, Dunk's fruit, about that size, a big Dunks, that's about the size. But then it could get quite big. I've got some men with 400 or 500 gram prostates. And size doesn't always equate to severity of symptoms. So I have some men with small prostates, lots of symptoms. I have men with big prostates with very few symptoms. So that's why it's so important to have that assessment. Once you have that initial assessment, again, this is benign enlargement. I don't want to mention it because we always tend to go off on a tangent. Got to make sure there's no prostate cancer going on, because that's another common problem with the prostate as we get older. But you need that initial assessment to make sure you don't have cancer. You need your rectal exam. I know a lot of men.
The upper reduction. We were talking about this before the show started. But don't panic.
Don't panic. And then your PSA.
Yes.
Again, that can either be started by your GP or when you come to a urologist in the clinic. Once we're happy that there's no prostate cancer going on, you're quite symptomatic, you're bothered by your symptoms, then we can start talking about doing something about it.
Solutions. What can we do about it?
In general, we would say you got your conservative, or what you call your herbal remedies, your plant-based remedies, things like fluid, obviously monitoring your fluid intake. And then you have medicines and you have surgery. I like to talk about herbal remedies because everybody is using, like plant-based treatments, herbal remedies, and they are effective. And the point I want to get across here, it is effective for treating BPH, the benign enlargement of the prostate. There's another condition that we didn't quite touch on, chronic prostatitis, but we can do that in another show. But it is not good for treating prostate cancer. And the problem, the misconception is that just because you have one condition doesn't mean you can't have the other. A lot of the times, unfortunately, because prostate cancer is very prevalent in Barbados, we'll discuss this probably in some future shows, not only prevalent, but also not very well managed generally. It's really important to rule that out. Because a lot of the times when men can have prostate cancer along with BPH, but it isn't the cancer that's causing the problem, it's actually the BPH that's causing the problems. They go off and do the herbal remedies, meanwhile the cancer is getting worse and worse. And the problem is by the time you become symptomatic of prostate cancer, it is quite an advanced cancer. So that's why it's so important to have that initial assessment by your GPs and by your urologists if need be to make sure you don't have cancer. Then it's quite safe to continue taking the herbal remedies, the saw palmetto, the stinging nettle bush, the lycopenes, the high-dose vitamins A, C, D, this African fruit plum, that all these remedies are good. And I do encourage men to have those, provided that you've made sure that you don't have any prostate cancer going on.
And so it's important in the management of it that you have your frequent checks, so that you don't cross the line into the danger zone, as I would want to call it.
Correct, yeah.
So herbal treatments is one option.
Yes.
I just keep thinking of the shrinking, that little space shrinking, and how can we widen that so that we get a good flow?
So again, just before we get to surgery, I'm a surgeon, I love performing surgery. There's also medicines available. So we do have, so within the prostate muscle, again, like within the prostate tissue, it's muscular. I'm just looking at the tone of the muscle. We can reduce the tone of the muscle in the prostate. That's what they call alpha blockers. I'm sure a lot of men would be familiar with Flomax. There's also tamsulosin, alfuzosin. I don't see that too much here. These can help relax the tone in the prostate and make it easier for you to pee. Then there are some drugs that help shrink your prostate gland. The 5-alpha reductase inhibitors, the dutasteride, the finasteride. And then there's actual combination therapies as well. So rather than taking two separate drugs, you can take one. So the shrinkage, the drugs that help shrink is about 20-25%. And it does take some time. So again, I encourage men to understand that they'll see some improvement of their symptoms, but it might take a good 4 to 6 weeks to see the maximum improvement. There are things specific for the bladder. So we have things like antimuscarinics. We have some beta agonists as well. So when you have what we call the stir symptoms, the frequency, the urgency, the getting up several times at night, we can, and we think it's coming from the bladder, we can address that with the antimuscarinics, the beta blockers. There's some other drugs out there. For example, so one of the other problems we have is where at night normally our brain switches off our urine production. That hormone, that ADH, can be disrupted as you get older, and sometimes we need to supplement that. So there's things like DBP melt and stuff that can help reduce your urine production at night when you get that physiological imbalance. A little bit more tricky to treat or diagnose, something called nocturnal polyuria, but there's several different treatments before, or simple things that we can implement before we get to surgery.
Right. This is a clearly discussion for you and your urologist and your GP. It's a very detailed discussion. We want you to pay close attention, gentlemen. There's a lot more, as you said, that we need to continue talking about, but then we are out of time.
Not a problem.
And that's good. That's not bad, because I really want you to come back so we can continue this discussion. Indeed, I think
more
it's a
about
very important subject.
Surgical management.
So if you were a fly on the wall, where would you want to be?
Where would I want to be? Right now, with what's happening in the world,
Oval Office?
We'll just leave that one there. Right now, I mean, where would I like to be? I think I like being here in Barbados. I would like to be probably in the Prime Minister's office.
Okay.
I think we are doing a lot of good here in Barbados. I'm really proud to be a Bajan right now, seeing what's happening elsewhere in the world. We're making strides. I was very encouraged by hearing the presenters just before myself. I really do think right now this is an exciting time in Barbados. I'm seeing a lot of growth, not only economically, but from a mental or a spiritual point of view. I think we're doing well right now.
And so you want to be in the engine room?
I would like to be there.
All right, Dr. Paul Rouse, our friend to Mornin Barbados, indeed our urologist. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, as always, and
really
sharing with us great insight into the lower urinary tract symptoms that we need to pay close attention to. And don't panic, because it is not necessarily all bad news. But once you know the management and treatment that you can apply. Thank you so much, sir.
Really appreciate it. Good morning, Barbados.
You're welcome. We're coming back in just a moment.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it. Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays, right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 4675.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
If you'd like to know how to win the battle and not lose the war, this session is for you. We're talking HR with Hermab this morning as we're rejoined by Dawn Lovell, who is a training and development coach and specialist. Dawn, we had such a riveting discussion last week. We had to do part 2. So let's talk about now, how do we move not to lose the war, but to win the battle?
Wow. Well, good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados. This is such a wonderful discussion, and I'm so glad we're here to continue it. So we want to win the battle and not lose the war. First of all, we have to establish what is the outcome that we want. What is it? Because many times we get into battles, but the battle we end up, or we want to win the battle, but is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is the outcome worth it? And there's something in war they call Pyrrhic victories. And many of us, we want to have the victory. Well, no, I won. Well, you know, we had this battle going on and I superseded and I won. A Pyrrhic victory is one where the victory, it comes at such a high cost that it's not even worth it. So you have to ask yourself, in these battles that we're having, what is it that I really want to accomplish? Because many times, even in our personal lives, Person, we're having a conflict with somebody and we want to know that we're right. I'm right. So we want to prove a point. But then at the end of it, how is that affecting the relationship in the long term? How does that affect the family? How is this going to affect your workplace, the organization? How does it affect your teammates? So is it worth it? At the end of the day, you have to look at what are the two opposing views here and where is the common ground. And many people, unfortunately, do not look at it that way because there's some other internal battles they have going on that are causing them to continue with this conflict in looking for an outcome that says, I win. I'm the one in charge. You see what I said? You know, I was right. So these are the things we really have to look at. We got to see whether or not it is really worth the victory.
Yeah, but sometimes for a lot of people, the victory is being the victim. The pity party takes over, and so it's poor me, poor me. You see, I told you, you are the beast because how you victimized me. And as I was listening to you, I was trying to apply this to the work environment, and I keep thinking of appraisals because sometimes there's that conflict between the supervisor and the employee, and oftentimes one feels as if it's unfair because you don't have any measurement to prove. Not to prove, because that's always I'm going to win the war. But you understand, to substantiate the position you hold.
Yes.
And so being very clear on what you are providing for the discussion can avoid the conflict. Don't you think appraisals are critical to that process?
Yes, they are, but I also believe that it's a continuous process. What happens a lot is that one day you hear, okay, well, it's the end of the year, we need to do appraisals. You turn up in your supervisor or manager's office, and you're thinking all along, I'm doing a great job, I'm doing my work, and you come in and you might say, oh, well, out of 5, you get a 2.
Yes.
And you're looking at your manager like, what do you mean? I think I'm a 5.
Yes.
How could you think I'm a 2? Immediately there's disparity right there. So there needs to be a constant conversation throughout the year process. Next thing there needs to be is very clear guidelines. Many people do not know, they do not have a clear understanding of what their job is. They do not have a clear understanding of what the objectives are for the team. Where do I fit? What is my role here? What are the outcomes that are expected? And when these are not clarified, particularly early on in your work, in your job, when you're coming into any position, then you're going to have blurred lines and a level of misunderstanding because people are not clear. And I must say though, Pearson, we have to be bold enough to ask the question. Many of us don't ask as workers or as employees, we don't ask questions. What is expected of me in this role? What is the outcomes that you're looking for? So that as I go on, I can measure. Am I reaching this? Do I need help here? Do I need training? Do I have the tools that I need? And these are the conversations that have to be had in organizations, Pearson.
Yeah, but as a supervisor, sometimes you feel challenged when your employee challenges you in that kind of way simply because you don't have the answers.
Yes.
Or you don't know how to communicate the responses as well. So talk to the supervisor today about what you see to be their responsibility so that we avoid the conflict but have connection and that we can win the battle but not lose the war.
Well, I love this question because there's a lot talking about leadership and what is expected of a leader. Many people have not been trained in how to be a leader and how to lead effectively. And many people are in the process of learning. We're all learning. You know, just because I'm in a position, I might have some leadership tendencies or, you know, there's certain things that, you know, that I've developed. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be the perfect leader.
Yes.
One, understand that you don't know everything. Two, you have to up your communication skills, Pearson. We have to, if you're going to be in any form of leadership, you have to up your communication skill. You have to learn how to articulate what you want to say. Many times we have people in positions. And another thing I want to kind of segue, we cannot bring our personal into the workspace. Yes, we are human beings and we can't necessarily separate, but we have to learn how to do that. We have to learn how to be emotionally intelligent. And, you know, you always say, what does that mean? Have intelligent emotions? No, but regulating them. And when somebody comes to you, you have to be able to bring that person back down to a level of calm. So they may challenge you. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so you have an objection here. Let's talk about it. What is it that you see that's different? You know, what is it that I may be doing that maybe I may not be coming over clearly? What do you need clarity on? Let's talk about this. Again, these are the conversations. Not enough conversations happen in workplaces. You have instructions.
Yes.
Not enough conversation. And that's one of the challenges. And that's where I like to work with people, because I would say to someone, okay, tell me how you said that. And when they say, usually they don't say it the way they really said it.
That's right.
You know, and a lot, you spoke about this last week, your tone. Your tone has a lot. Because I can say to you, good morning, Pearson, how are you today? And that's a different tone to morning.
Yes, yes. But,
different.
But I'm going to assess you all the while, you know. Don't think that because today we had a conflict, you come, oh, hi, good morning, Pearson. How are you today? I read that as sweet and syrupy. I might remember last month, when I saw a different beast. And so I think for a lot of people who sit in positions of influence, whether it's a supervisor or managing director even, consistency in your behavior in a good way is going to be absolutely critical if you're going to help to win this war. And win the battle as well, not lose the war. And so don't pretend. That's what I'm trying to get to. Don't pretend. Don't put on the character just for the moment. Let yourself be true to your character.
Well,
if you understand me.
Yes, I do. And I agree with you, Pearson. But I have another perspective as well. I want people to understand leaders are people too. We hold them to a higher standard, yes. But leaders are people too, and I find sometimes they get a really hard break. I've been in both positions, where I've been in the leadership position and I've been in the subordinate position. I tell myself there's one thing I live by, Pearson, do unto others. If you live by that golden rule, you'll be fine. But I find sometimes there's always a kind of an animosity, one, because the person is a leader, particularly if they were elevated from among.
Yes.
So there's, she's a manager now, so she thinks. But she's trying to carry out her duties. And you need to understand that. So it is a two-pronged approach. Leaders, you have a responsibility to learn and develop yourself as a leader. It's not just about the work. There are other things about you that you have to develop. But also, for the person, your subordinate or whoever, understand that this person is in the process as well. And we can have a conversation. And I'm not purporting to be degrading or what, because some people, they have an issue. So, you know, because they're in position now, they think, well, I can speak to you any way I can, and you must carry out what I say. And that's not right. So you're going to have the battle always. But how do we win this war in the workplace? Making sure that our ideals and our standards for work, we're on the same page. And I be fair.
Yes.
Fair. There's some little words, Pearson. Fair, kind, some little four-letter words that if we would implement them, we would see big results.
I am so glad you went to leaders or people too. Because oftentimes you're seen to be the recipient of all of your stresses, all of your problems, all of your everything, and you're supposed to find solutions. There was one thing I was taught early o'clock in my career in banking at that time, don't bring your monkey into my office and leave it. In other words, come with a solution as well, because I am no magician. I'm just like you, having to work through my head trying to find a solution. So if you too can come with suggestions, it helps in the process towards a solution. And while I, in the position of authority, might have the authority to sanction, don't assume that I have all the answers. And so in having that relationship, both sides need to be able to understand that about themselves and each other. Dawn, this is so fun. I
absolutely love this person.
I would love to work with you because this is fun.
We need to have a discussion.
Because it is so vital to how we handle relationships in the workplace. And I like to say often that the things we're discussing here are things that are also critical to the home. So if you can handle it at home, the likelihood is you can handle it in the office, because the same skill sets apply there as in the office. And so as the human being evolves, it's critical for us to get closer to that emotional intelligence that you're talking about, and how to manage situations as they occur. Not to be accusatory at all, but to see the other person's point of view as equally valid, and open up the conversation for a discussion and understanding of what it is, so you can better respond to what it is that is needed.
Yes, Pearson. I was having a conversation with a young lady yesterday, and I said to her, wherever you go, you take you with you. So whether you're home or whether you're at the office, you're taking you with you. So when you go somewhere, you spoke about this, don't pretend. When you go into the office, you're the same person. And eventually, whatever you're carrying, if it's insecurity, if it is that you are on an ego trip, whatever it is, a trauma that you would have dealt with, you have to deal with you. So the human being it doesn't matter if you have a title. Titles, all they do is give you maybe a level of authority. But at the end of the day, Dawn is Dawn. When I leave here, they take this jacket off. I'm going to be Dawn at home. I'm going to be Dawn here. Of course, you adapt according to the circumstances and the situation you're in. But at the end of the day, if we work on being better people, Pearson, if we work on being better people and developing ourselves, wherever we go, our light is going to shine.
Absolutely.
So that's
Dawn. Tell her about to say about soon here. For real. Listen, if you could be a fly on the wall, where would you want to be?
I was thinking about that, and I think I would want to be somewhere where Elon Musk is.
Really? Why?
Because he's a phenomenal human being, and he always have these new advancements and stuff like that. So I would want to know, what is it that he's thinking about next? I would want to be a fly in that room.
I hope you enjoy the process, indeed. But thank you as always.
I'd be a fly, so that doesn't mean I have any part to do with the process.
So true. Dawn Lovell, who is a training and development specialist, indeed, joining us for our conversations with HERMAB as we talk HR. And so we encourage you to adopt and adapt as you go as well. Some of the things that we talked about this morning, and I guarantee you, it's going to make the encounters with those in the office, the encounters with those in your home, far more enriching and enjoyable. That is what we're all asking for, isn't it? We'll take a break right here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the
7 to 7 it is now. You light up my life. You know, there's a beautiful song on the air that we've grown up listening to. That's the emotion I'm sure you're going to have on Sunday coming when the Christchurch Parish Church hosts You Light Up My Life. It's going to be quite spectacular now. We're joined by two members of the parochial council who will tell us more about what to expect in Ingrid Armstrong-Walcott and Ian Best. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning.
Ingrid, talk to me. You Light Up My Life.
Yes.
What's that about?
We are all excited.
Sing it.
You light up my life. I am not one of the performers.
But well done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what can I expect?
You can expect the wonderful grounds of the Christchurch Parish Church. We are going to have an outdoor stage, and we are going to have the wonderful ambiance of the backdrop of our beautiful church.
Sweet.
Yes.
I could see it. Go ahead.
Yes. We have a plethora of entertainers, and Ian's going to talk to us about that, and it costs a meager $70. We are looking forward to an exciting evening where everyone can be comfortable and enjoy the steel pan and, of course, the jazz rhythms. It will be an evening to remember.
I'm shivering already.
Yes.
So you're taking up the car park?
No.
So if the church is the backdrop, what side do you have me on?
Oh, our church is a pretty large church.
Yeah.
It's on the northern side of the church.
Oh, the other side.
Yes, and we are going to light up that church, and it's going to be a wonderful event.
I'm feeling this already, Ingrid, honestly.
Oh, yes.
And so this is for a very good cause.
Yes,
What
a
are you
very
seeking to do?
important cause for us. It is for our organ fund. We have been working towards getting a brand new organ. It costs north of $300,000. We're probably a fifth of the way there, so we have a lot of work to do if we are going to achieve that objective.
My colleagues know me well. I like churches with organs.
Yes.
I like to hear an organ.
Precisely.
And so, therefore, we want to bring music, that part of the ministry, back in a very powerful way. And Christchurch Parish Church has been known over the years to having a good choir and a good organ.
We have been lucky in that regard, but our organ is now, I wouldn't want to say it's on its last legs, but we have been having some challenges, and we recognize that to go forward, that music ministry must be tended to. So this is why we're having this concert, You Light Up My Life, so that we can raise money for our organ.
All right, so Ian, talk to me about who's going to be there.
Well, you know, as I think Grace said, we have a plethora of great artists. This year, we have Keisha Christian. She is going to be headlining the event.
Keisha is so good.
She is very good. She is very good. And you know, she is so versatile.
Yes.
And she has been spreading her wings, not only in Barbados, but she's also in Canada and all over the world. So we're happy to have her. Then we also have the Barbados Community College Jazz Ensemble. And you know, they come with their own reputation as well.
Yes.
Led by Roger Giddens. If not Roger, Philip Ford, somebody else with there. But they promise a really good package. And then we also have the Euphony Steel Orchestra. Again, really.
So who are they?
Euphony, I'm not that familiar with their background, but they do come with a great resume. Of course, then we have the award-winning Christchurch Foundation Steel Orchestra.
Yesterday, I drove by the area and I was like, what's going on? I saw these collections of panis on the school pasture there.
They promised to bring 60 panis.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're really going to be big.
That's a big orchestra.
A big band.
Very big.
Yeah. I saw about the music. What I found interesting is that people were slowing down and listening and paying attention.
Correct.
But of course, the question then on my mind was, what's going on?
Well,
now you know.
And now I know
yes,
what is going to be happening.
Sunday evening at 5.
Sweet. And they would have had their concert last year. I keep thinking this year is much older, but last year, and we saw the response to that, and now they're part of your You Light Up My Life function on Sunday, a concert on Sunday beginning at
5:30.
5:30 on the church grounds of Christchurch Parish Church.
But the gates open at 4:30.
Yeah, because we want people to come and occupy their space early. It's early o'clock. So where can we get tickets from?
You can get the tickets from the church office. And we're also selling tickets online at www.christchurchpc.com.
You've gone high tech.
For sure.
ChristchurchPC.com.
And you can call the church office, make arrangements if necessary. Petula Ashby. I get the number.
Oh, that's all right. But call the church office, ask for Petula.
Yeah.
That's a lovely name as well.
Oh, yeah.
And get more details about making arrangements for your tickets and so forth. Because I could well imagine that people like to reserve. I'm not sorry. This is my space. Could you reserve these few seats for me as well? Would you have those kinds of Petula can answer those kinds of questions?
Of course, Petula can make those arrangements.
Okay. That's good. So it's this coming Sunday beginning at 5.
But the gates open at 4:30.
Beginning at 5:30.
Yeah.
And the gates open at 4:30.
Yeah.
So can you imagine as the sun sets,
yes.
the music continues to lift and to rise.
And those lights
and those lights
beautiful.
come up on the church and it just stands on like a beacon on that hill.
Yes.
I am painting the picture that you have to be a part of here, folks.
Yes,
It is
definitely.
this Sunday. Raising funds for a very good cause, which is to have their organ, restore the music ministry in the church in a very rich, meaningful way. And so our support is required. The cost of a ticket is
$70.
$70.
A meager $70 given the package we're offering.
Yeah. It's also being held under the kind patronage of Senator Reginald Farley.
Yes. His Honor, yes.
His Honor. He's a member of our church.
Yes.
And he's been so kind to consent to playing this role this year.
Very good indeed. Remember, you can go to ChristchurchPC.com. I love that.
Yes.
ChristchurchPC.com if you want to buy your ticket online. Or you can call the church office and sort that out. Or I see the two of these on the street and say, I want a ticket.
Yes,
come. I suppose you can also pay at the door. You're not going to turn anyone away.
No.
We have space for like 450 people.
There you go.
Yeah.
And we want more than that. On
Correct.
Sunday, beginning at 5:30, doors open at 4:30. Come get your car spot, get your spot, call Petula at the church office and reserve as well. Everything, food and drinks on sale?
Oh yes, refreshments on sale for the entire evening.
Yeah.
Our church's community are excited and ready and raring to go. This is going to be an experience you'll never forget.
I'm buying you. I am buying you. Well done indeed, Ingrid. It's going to be quite an exciting experience indeed, one not to be forgotten.
Yes.
And so that's why we're encouraging all of you folks to really lend your support. It's great music by great artists. Keisha Christian is going to headline Keisha Christian, who has developed herself not just as a soca artist, she's into jazz and other idioms as well. So it's going to be a very good evening. The church is going to be lit once the sun sets. You're going to be there to watch that spectacular and certainly to be a part of the engaging music as other performers in there. 60 members of the Christchurch School. Foundation School. Yeah, at Christchurch.
Our neighbors.
They're going to be there beating pan. Yes. And we know there's such energy that comes from them. 60 young people in there on stage as well. And Roger Gittings and his ensemble from the Barbados Community College, as well as the Euphony Steel Orchestra. You've got to be there. Yes. I can't wait to be there. $70 is all it's going to cost you. A very worthy cause indeed. Get your tickets today. Now, the question, Ingrid, if you could be a fly on the wall, where would you want to be?
I want to be on the wall of where the money is being made on the internet. There are lots of scammers at work. I think the scammers are working triple time. There's lots of money out there that we can use for various purposes. Our organ, for instance. Where are the real... So I want to get on the wall
where the real money is.
Where the real money is.
Fair enough. Ian, what about you?
I would think maybe on the wall of Bishop Buddy from Washington.
Who?
Bishop Buddy.
Who's that?
She was the lady, the bishop.
Oh, the lady who spoke to Trump?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, sock it to Trump. So why would you want to be on her wall?
Just to hear what her reaction was after she heard the admonition.
Interesting. Interesting indeed. Well done, Ian. Ian Best and Ingrid Armstrong Walker, who are members of the Parochial Council of the Christchurch Parish Church. The concert is Sunday, beginning at 5:30. Doors open from 4:30. Come in your numbers. Light up, because you light up my life. They're raising funds for the organ, and so it's going to be a concert not to be missed. On your screen, you're seeing the artists who are going to be there, and so your name has to be there among those who attended. So we want you all to come. And remember, food and drinks will be on sale. It's going to be a spectacular evening. I know a neighbor of mine already has her tickets and she's planning to be there. She told me that yesterday as we were passing by the school and seeing the artists perform as well. So it's going to be good. Folks, I commend it to you. Thank you very, very much. All the best indeed.
Nice.
You're welcome.
I'll see you there.
Indeed. 3 minutes after 7, we're coming back in a moment.
Christchurch Parish Church presents You Light Up My Life, a concert in aid of the Organ Fund, the 2025 edition, on Sunday, February 2nd, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. Join us on the grounds of the church for an unforgettable evening. Featured artists are Miss Keisha Christian and the Barbados Community College Jazz Ensemble, with the Euphony Steel Orchestra and the Christchurch Foundation Steel Orchestra, directed by Mr. Lowry Worrell. Tickets at $70 are available from the church or www.christchurchpc.com. You light up my life.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it. Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 5.5 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's get to the news now. Attorney General Dale Marshall has described the habit of littering by some Barbadians as disgraceful. He was leading off the debate on the resolution on the report of the Joint Select Committee on the Social Sector and Environment in the lower house. Marshall says the report contains several proposals which show there are Barbadians who support the protection of the environment.
The report itself contains a number of excellent proposals made by Barbadians who are keenly in support of the protection of our environment. There are some people, Mr. Speaker, who seem to believe that the environment doesn't matter. We still have Barbadians who litter in a way that is really disgraceful. One of a site that I saw in Bathsheba only on Sunday was litter all over the place.
Mr. Marshall also notes that this particular legislation does not deal with littering, but he points out that as much as the government does its part in ensuring the country is clean, citizens are obligated to keep public spaces and their environment clean as well.
This report is an examination of the scheme that the government wants to put in place to ensure that Barbadians keep premises that are under their responsibility in a clean manner. Now, some bright person will ask, well, what does clean mean? Well, Mr. Speaker, somebody famously said it is difficult to define terrorism, but when you see it, you know it.
And Deputy Speaker of the House, Her Honour Cynthia Ford, called on Barbadians to speak up when they see people dumping illegally across the island. She was also speaking on that resolution in the lower house.
There's only one government, there's only one hospital, there's only one people, but we need to collaborate with the education in our communities. And I agree that when you see something, say something. You don't have to say that the person hears you or gets to know it is you, because that's the other side that is happening now, where people want to destroy you because you saw something, you spoke about it. But say something, do something. I encourage communities, form some community groups and do some community cleanups. And the Ministry of Environment assists with the truck and the bobcat and so to be able to dispose of the derelict vehicles and so on that are found in our various communities.
Ms. Ford says during the holiday season, the volume of litter is high, and while the Ministries of Environment and Health are doing their best, there has to be a more consistent collection of refuse in order to keep the environment clean.
We are a country and we boast of our people, and we should, and we're inviting visitors here. If our economy is to continue to be built up, we have to conform with rules and regulations, and those who are breaching the laws must be punished for dumping illegally. And they are seen, the photograph is there, the information is there. I would want them to be made public spectacles, that the rest of Barbados can see that is the punishment you will get if you do not conform with the rules and regulations, because you're putting other persons' lives and livelihoods at risk.
Let's take a look at the bit of sports now. Leicester Vaughan easily defeated the St. Michael's School Cougars when the National Sports Council Schoolgirls Basketball competition continued. Alyssa Eiffel produced a game-high 14 points to propel Leicester Vaughan to victory, which leaves them one win away from making the semi-finals. Anmar Goodrich-Boyce reports.
Time for girls basketball action. Leicester Vaughan battling against St. Michael Cougars in the purple bibs. Alyssa Eiffel wastes no time. First bucket of the match goes to Leicester Vaughan. The response from the Cougars was immediate. Serenity Proverbs showing some wisdom, good dribbling, and the floater is in off the rim. The girls were playing impressive. The Cougars in transition look flawless. From defense to offense, and Proverbs does the rest. Easy layup. She registered 8 points in the contest. But Leicester Vaughan took the first quarter 8-4 and the second 15-4. Eiffel drive into the paint, hits a bit of traffic, and then this happened. Daniel Small with a mid-range 2. It's good. Second half action, and this is where Leicester Vaughan took full control. Quenisha Cox given the red carpet treatment, escorted to the bucket, will not miss from there. The Cougars up against it. The one-way traffic continued. Initial shot off the backboard and drops to Eiffel, who mops it up. She had a game-high 14 points as Lester Vaughan defeated the Cougars 31-16. And more Goodrich Boys, CBC Sports.
That's news until now. We'll have more news at 12 noon here on CBC TV8. We'll take a break here, but when we come back, I'll tell you about Bamboo Retreat. Don't miss it.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew. When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest...
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Did you see that? That's Bamboo Retreat. And I'm sure a number of you are asking, but where is it? The man who could tell us more about that is himself, Steve Andrews, who is a master therapist and, of course, the owner of Bamboo Retreat. Steve, good morning. That video we just saw tells a really powerful story.
Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Where is Bamboo Retreat? We are in Walker, St. George. I always say it's 2 bus stops up from the Glebe Polyclinic. You can't miss us. Either bus stop. We are right in front both of them. So we are right there in St. George. We are on the main, but as you can see, you will never believe that there's a road next to us. We have created a really beautiful environment where you can really come and relax. That's what we are all about.
I love the fact that you've immersed it into nature. You can have your spa treatments, you can have your those moments in nature among the trees and natural life.
But that's what spa is. I mean, one of the things that happened to me, one of the great opportunity I had was to travel the globe and see some of the best spas in the world. And the best spas, the most unique spas in the world is where they actually create nature to build their space. And I mean, people just love this kind of facility. But we are in the Caribbean, we are amongst nature, and then we tend to take it indoor because that's what beauty is all about. It's where you go amongst nature and embrace yourself. You allow the spirit to be free. You allow yourself to just run free and just let go all of the hang-ups of life itself. I mean, the service is excellent, but the environment is better. It gives you space to free oneself. And it's not just a room where you just lock yourself in. It's where you can go, you can sit in the garden, you can go and just sit on the ground. It's such a beautiful space when you can just sit on the ground and just look up and all you're seeing is just nature itself. It's a place where it actually frees the mind, and that's the most important thing.
Which tells me then that there's so much you can do there. And so let's talk a little bit about what else, other than the spa treatments alone, which is already quite relaxing and fun. There's so many other things that the space allows you to be able to do.
Yes, I mean, it's what? Just be creative. I always tell people, just imagine what you can do, whatever small birthday party, whether it's just a line with your friends. One of our most popular treatment is what we call a sparty, where a group of friends, small group of friends, just come along and sit. They use the outdoor facilities. We have a hot tub. We have the sauna, we have the pool, we have the garden. You can do sip and paint is one of those things that a lot of persons is doing now. So we do different little things within the environment. It's not a space where you can come and it's a quiet space. We want to keep it as a quiet space, a space where you can come and really relax because that's what we built it for just relaxation itself.
I like the concept, the sparty, which is a spa experience, and you can do it as a group.
Yes,
and
small
really
group
build it out the way you want.
Yes.
So can one reserve the space just for you and your group?
Yes, you can. I mean, we have taken it to a place where if it's a birthday, because we are now transferring into a birthday spa because everything we are focusing on birthdays because birthday is special.
Right.
So you can decide, I want the Bamboo Retreat for my birthday, me and my couple friends, and you can have it for the entire day where you can do several little things that you can do within it. And also we now have 2 one room in the studios that you can stay over if you want to. So we have now built it into a real retreat where you can come and spend a couple of days, have your spa services, whatever you're thinking about, those are the options that we are giving to you.
There's something you're doing on Fridays as well.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, we start this thing as fun, and now it becomes into a business. Well, not business, it's just activities. We call it the Friday Night Lime. We do a jerk night to where we do more Jamaican style food. Right. And also, but we are all developing these things that we are trying to do. So the Friday Night Lime is where we just doing some stuff. Actually, I'm cooking, so I get to show off another skills, another side of me itself. How and I guess people come, so I guess they have to be enjoying the food as well. So they keep coming and coming and coming. So
We're at
Yeah.
the start of a new year, so lots of birthdays are coming up. So you're pushing your birthday retreat
Yes.
option.
Yes.
So for those who are planning this and see this now as another way to celebrate a birthday, how can they contact you?
Well, they can always reach us. Our numbers are 436-9445, 233-3104. We have our Instagram page, the Bamboo Retreat. We have our website, thebambooretreat.com. So we are out there. You can find us, or you can Google us, the Bamboo Retreat. You will find us. So there's a lot of space on lots of ways that you can contact us if you are trying to find us.
Listen, we have all that information on your screen. If you take a look now, you can see all the ways of connecting with Bamboo Retreat, whether it is by Instagram, Facebook, on their website, the telephone, all the different ways that you can connect. And if you're coming home for regathering, and you're coming as a family, perhaps this is an opportunity for you to have that family occasion.
Yeah.
Something you can do together just as family. Something you can do together for the birthday. Something you can do together from the office, because the teams in the office need to connect as well.
Yes.
And so it provides you the space, provides you the opportunity to be so creative and so relaxed and enjoy time and connect once again. And that is the beauty of Bamboo Retreat there in Glebe, St. George.
Yes.
Just a simple phone call away. And it's not too far.
Walker St. George, not Glebe.
Walkers.
Right.
Walker, just off the Glebe. Walker St. George.
Right.
And it's not too far. Very accessible and very quiet.
Yes,
and serene.
it's nature.
And it's nature.
Yes.
That's it. Thank you so very much, Steve. Good to see you again.
It's a pleasure.
I'm not going to let you escape without answering the question too. If you could be a fly on the wall, where would you be?
I don't want to be a fly on the wall because I really don't want to know what other persons are thinking. The mind is very powerful,
Yes.
and really I don't want to be. It's best you don't know. It keeps your sanity.
Well said, Steve. I'm with you completely.
Yes, so.
Don't want to know. Don't
Yeah.
tell me what I don't need to know. In other words, that's what I say all the time. Thank you very much. All the best with the new Bamboo Retreat, folks. Give them a call, check them out today, and engage. It's going to be fantastic. All the best.
Pleasure.
You're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
24 and a half minutes after 7 o'clock. It's Wednesday. It is the day before Q Day. One more sleep and you're into Q Day. That's tomorrow, Thursday. And as I told you at the beginning of the show, you're getting a double whammy this week in Q in the community indeed. Joining us now to talk more about this is Nicole Collins, our marketing specialist. Nicole, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson. Happy Wednesday.
And to you as well. Happy Eve of Q Day.
Definitely.
So tomorrow, we're inviting everyone where?
Checker Hall. I know that you were going to ask that question.
Yeah.
We're going to St. Lucie. We're gathering in St. Lucie,
Yes.
Checker Hall playing field from 11 a.m. for Q in the community.
I'm telling you, and I know the color of St. Lucie is the jade color.
Yeah, a green light.
A greeny jade, yeah.
Yes.
So if you want to do that too, dress like that.
Yes, we're encouraging persons to come out in their green shoes, green wig, whichever green, whatever they have in green, just come in some hint of green.
I'm so glad that you've taken Q in the community to St. Lucie. Honestly, it is. You know, and for all of us who are from St. Lucie, I am telling you, we're going to be coming out to spend the day at Checker Hall playing field. And so we're going to have the usual music and dancing and food and drinks.
Dominoes, don't forget the dominoes. You must not forget the dominoes and the karaoke.
Correct.
Yes.
Thank you. I mean, there are so many other elements to Q in the community. It's a really great lime and you're going to have a really good time while you're there. The buses.
Okay, so yes, of course, we will have the Q bus service, thanks to the Transport Board. You know, the normal thing, gate number 1 at the Granville Williams Terminal, and if you tune into Q 100.7 FM, you'll hear the route that the bus will be taking if you're not going to be going to the Granville Williams Terminal.
If you're leaving from Princess Alice, you could take the Connelltown bus. If you're leaving from the Spicestown Terminal, you take the Connelltown bus.
Person, when last did you take a bus?
That's a very good question.
Okay.
You know, the last time I took the bus, I forgot what the bus fare was. So I put in $2. The driver didn't move. So he said, I said, what? He said, it's $3.50. I completely forgot.
Yes.
But now you know, but the bus, driving on the bus is such an experience. So to all of you who are home for regathering, all of you are home just because you're visiting, and we have lots of visitors to our island, get on the bus. It's quite an experience. And let's make our way down to Checker Hall, playing field tomorrow, early o'clock, 11 in the morning, till you say when.
Definitely.
And so it's going to be fantastic. But then there's also the double whammy, Nick.
Yes, a double dose. This week, our Q family, we're giving them a double dose of Q in the community. So we are going to Hayman's on Saturday, Hayman's Market at Hayman's St. Peter on Saturday. Yes, you heard me correctly. This Saturday, February 1st, the St. Peter Parish Organizing Committee, they are kicking off their sort of regathering with a Q in the community at Hayman's.
How smart.
Yes,
very, very smart.
Definitely.
And I remember Hayman's as the factory. My late aunt's husband used to be the manager there as well. So I know Hayman's, and the transformation that they've done to that location is astounding.
Yes.
And so it's good, a great place to be. You can be on the balcony, you can be on the ground, you can go into the different shops and the eateries.
Yes.
And there's ample parking as well.
Ample parking, ample space. You won't feel cluttered up or anything. And as you said, the view is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We went down to do a site visit, and I was like, I'm going to stay here for the day.
You should. You really, really
Yes.
should. In St. Peter, it's Saturday.
It's Saturday.
Saturday, there's a very special queue. We're encouraging all of you, Q lovers and lovers of Q, to come on down to Hayman's Farmers Market.
Yes.
Hayman's Market.
Hayman's Market.
On Saturday. What time does this special queue begin?
Queue starts at 11.
Same time.
Yes, and there will be a Q bus service. Thanks again, once again, to the Barbados Transport Board. They quickly came on board. We called them. We said, we're having a special queue.
No problem.
No problem. Just let us confirm and let us know when. And that has been signed, sealed, and delivered. We have the route already and everything. That is going to be aired as well on Q 100.7 FM. So we're definitely ready for Q. We're going to have our regular DJs. We're not robbed. This Saturday, Q will not rob the patrons of anything. They're going to have the same DJs, King Scorpion, DJ Scotty, karaoke with Ronnie Fresh, everything that you get at Q on Thursday, you will get on Saturday. So we're really happy to have this Q. And personally, I want to say that persons may ask, I got the question last night when I was sending out the poster to friends, as I usually do, and the person asked, why is Saturday, why are we having 2 Qs? I said, well, because there's a demand for Q in the community at this point in time. From last year, about September, our 2025 calendar for Q was already booked up. So when December rolled in, we started getting calls from persons, we want to have a regathering queue. Our committee is exploring having a regathering queue. And we were like, but our calendar is fully booked. So our team decided, okay, no problem. What we can do is we'll offer Saturday queues only to regathering. So where our calendar cannot facilitate a regathering queue in the week on a normal Thursday, we'll then extend the Saturdays only.
So the parish organizing committees, talk to Nicole, 467-5465. And let's bring the special queue to your parish as we move across. So St. Peter is February, and that's why we're going to Hayman's Market.
Yes, we actually spoke with St. Thomas. I actually spoke with someone from St. Thomas yesterday. They probably will get a Thursday one. I know St. Andrew has already booked their Saturday because August is already full. So they have their Saturday secured. St. George called and inquired. We told them they can choose. They're to get back to us. So the calls are coming in. There's definitely a demand for Q in the community. Persons want to experience the magic of Q, right? And we gather at Q every week. We've been gathering from God knows how long. We gather. Q is an experience. It's definitely one of those experiences that if you've never had before, you definitely want to come. And as you spoke about persons who are coming, who are on island, coming, returning nationals and tourists as well, every week, I'm starting to notice the increase in returning nationals. Persons are coming out to enjoy that magic of Q in the community.
You book it early. You know, before, while booking your trip, you're thinking, okay, I'll be there on Thursday, so I'm definitely going to Q wherever it is.
Yes.
And it's so funny because then on our social media platform, we get the question all the time, where is Q this? And it's often somebody overseas who wants to know.
Yes. And as you speak about overseas as well, only last night I was going to our Q page and I saw someone say, when will Q come back to Toronto? Yes, because as you know, we've exported Q. So Q is not only local, but we've exported to the international market as well. And definitely we can say that Q is one of our strong brands. It's doing well and it's loved. It's a cherished brand, definitely.
It truly is. So tomorrow, Thursday.
Yes.
So sleep tonight and wake up early tomorrow because at 11 o'clock we'll not catch you in your bed. Be at Checker Hall playing field in St. Lucie tomorrow. And we're going from 11th till Thy Kingdom Come. And on Saturday, then we're going to Hayman's Market, same Q time, 11 o'clock in the morning, same Q activities, same Q feel, same Q fun. So double whammy this weekend. Thursday, Checker Hall playing field. Saturday, Hayman's Market in St. Peter, all part of a gathering for that special Q. And then once the parish organizing committee contacts us, we will let you know when those special Qs will be.
Definitely.
But don't miss tomorrow here, folks. Don't miss tomorrow.
And don't miss Saturday.
Nor Saturday.
Yes.
But particularly tomorrow. Tomorrow is your...
sorry. Sorry. My apologies. Sorry. I'm like a little slow.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's me.
Yes.
So tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to Checker Hall Play Field. Food and drinks on sale. Great music, great socializing, dominoes, karaoke, and you. And we encourage you to wear your parish colors if you possibly can. Jade is the parish color for St. Lucie. So see you all tomorrow here. Come let's have a good time. Nick, thank you. I have not forgotten the question. I know you're hoping that Pearson forgot. If you could be a fly on the wall, where would you be?
I am going to agree with the previous Steve. Right. I don't want to know.
You copping out?
I'm not copping out.
What are you doing?
It is like I'm agreeing with Steve.
Or is it that you didn't have enough time?
No, I don't want to be a fly on the wall. Whatever is said about me, good or bad,
you don't want to hear.
I don't want to hear.
But do you want to know something else?
No.
Would you like to be in the Oval Office?
Right now? No. Definitely not, Pearson. No. I'll go upstairs in my office. In my cubicle.
Fair enough. Nicole, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for the great work that you guys are doing in marketing to pull all of this together. I know for you it's a labor of love. You are on this almost 24 hours a day, and you're going and going and going, and we see the results. So well done to you and Danny in particular, who lead this charge.
Yes.
Well done.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love Q. When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different.
Well, we're on to the next chapter. That next chapter takes us all the way to the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, where we'll meet a journalist who's decided now to foray into not just writing news stories and features, but writing and creating stories about who? We'll tell you now, in an unending search, but for what? The author himself is Ryan Bachu, a journalist with Guardian Media, and I see you often, Ryan. Welcome. Good morning. I see you often on CNC3. I also see you receiving many media awards in the Caribbean Broadcasting Union Awards. Good to meet you.
Pearson, it's an honor to be on your program. Thank you very much for having me.
You're very welcome. Now here it is. You've decided not just to present your news as a news report or to write the news, but to write a story. An unending search. What is that about?
So actually, I started this book even before I was a journalist, Pearson. I started this book in 2009 and I became a journalist in 2010. And for the next 5 years, between 2009 and 2014, I wrote the first draft of the book, and then, I put the book down for a little bit, mainly because I didn't have money or enough money to go through the publishing process, nor even have it copy edited. And honestly, I didn't think it was good enough either, Pearson. I had just written out of a love for literature, and I didn't think it was good enough to publish anyways. I left it there. Picked it back up 10 years later, and I asked an editor to just have a look. She said it was too long. We needed to cut the book in half, and we also needed to rework a lot of it. And so I spent all of 2024 reworking the book, rewriting. It felt like writing an entirely second book. That one itself was a journey, Pearson, because, you being in the media fraternity as you have been for such a long time, you would know that you mature as you get older. And I could tell the distinct difference in my writing 10 years apart. And so I set about, really rewriting the story in many ways, recharacterizing the plot as well. And it's about the journey of a young teenage Indian boy. The book is set in rural South Trinidad back in the late 1970s. Trinidad and Tobago very much still feeling the remnants of the Black Power movement marches that took place in the early 70s. And this young Indian boy works in the cane fields with Uncle Sundar, who is a village elder. And being the elder that he is, and being how elders were back then, Uncle Sundar instills in this young boy that the Williams government is racist, that there is systemic racism in Trinidad. You should try to find a way out to the promised land, what continues to be the promised land of New York and London, and you'll find better jobs, you'll find a better quality of life there. And so the novel takes the reader on a journey of this young teenage boy trying to find himself out of Trinidad and into this promised land that has always been New York and London for Caribbean people. And along the way, it confronts the themes of racism, of classism, and it's also a story of self-discovery, Pearson.
You're also from the south of Trinidad. The book is based on a young boy from south of Trinidad. How much of this parallels with who Ryan is?
I would say none of it. It's completely fiction, and I've had that question a couple of times. But what I would say, Pearson, is that it's undeniable that the experiences and the influences of my village that I grew up in, of the town that I grew up in, and ultimately traveling across my country would have influenced, and particularly the Caribbean. I must say the Caribbean, being to places like Barbados, being to places like Grenada. Yes, it did have a strong influence on the West Indian architecture of this book. Is it a biography that's hidden in the shadow of a fiction? Not really.
Maybe time will reveal. But certainly,
Perhaps.
The bug never left you. The bug was buzzing in your ear all the while. Get back to writing, Ryan. Get back to writing. And so, are you feeling conflicted now with journalism or just simply writing fiction?
I actually think it complements the other, to be honest. I was making the point that writing in journalism, as you understand it, it's based in fact, and everything has to be factual and nothing but facts. You can't put anything in there that's speculation, that be rumored, that might be right, but you're not sure. And then writing fiction takes me into this different world, Pearson. It takes me into, it almost allows me to be someone that, that I can't be in journalism. And so it allows me an escape from the hard news of the Caribbean region, the hard news of the international scene, and really gives me an opportunity to dive into a fictional world, an imaginary world that doesn't exist, but you can bring that to life on paper, and you can bring that to life for your readers. And I think that's what I enjoyed most about writing this book. It was the most difficult thing that I did. However, when I was finished with a very long day of work in journalism, when I did most of my writing at night between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m., I was able to take my head away from journalism for that few hours and dive into a world that didn't exist.
Yes, yes. But you tackle some very serious themes, or racism and injustice and the like, and the desire to not just better oneself, but to see the world as one's stage. Talk to me a little bit about the influence that you would want when we pick up the book to turn the pages to read, the kind of influence on the human condition for the Caribbean boy who chooses to read this book. What do you want them to do and to see as?
I want them to see parallels within their own lives, because at the end of the day, we're all in search of something, especially young people these days. With the digital era that they live in and what they see on social media, they're in search of what other people have already attained or are continuing to attain, the success that people are having, where people are living, the places they are living in. Everybody is in search of something, and this book draws parallels to that something through this teenage Indian boy looking for a better life for himself, looking for better job opportunities, which is very synonymous with a lot of the lives that we are living here in the Caribbean region. A lot of people are looking for better jobs. A lot of people are looking for more stable livelihoods that they can spend their lives, and sometimes that's not here in the Caribbean. Sometimes that's not here in Bridgetown. That's not there in Port of Spain or Georgetown. And so the promised land for a lot of us, much like during the Windrush movement, was that London. We have our sights set on the big cities of London and New York. And so what I would like people to get out of the book is, yes, you can spend much of your life chasing this promised land for this better life and this better job, and ultimately, I don't want to sell what the book has in it, sell out what the book has in it, but ultimately, you could not achieve that. Ultimately, it doesn't have to work out. Ultimately, you could end back up right where you started, and that's essentially, the lesson of this West Indian fiction.
Right. Then you had to market it. It's all done. You've got your first copy. You feel proud of yourself, but you know how to expose yourself and your work to the rest of the Trinidad and Tobago and the rest of the world. How was that experience for you, doing the media jaunt so that you are telling people about your work? How was that for you?
So, Pearson, that's such a good question, because, I thought that writing the book, when I finished the last chapter on April 1st, 2024, I thought that was it. You finished writing a book and the book is done. Far from it. Writing a book is only 60% of the work. You have to publish the book, which is another 30%. That is such a difficult task, publishing your book, especially if you're self-publishing. And then you have to, as you said, you have to market your book to a local, regional, and international audience. And honestly, I'm not going to sit on your program and pretend that I'm a professional. I've been far from it. I've been depending on colleagues like yourself from around the region to help me, which you guys have been so gracious in doing. And I've been learning along the way, because this is my first novel and I've been learning a lot as I go along.
Are there thoughts on the second novel already?
I don't know if I have a second novel in me. What I think is that, writing a book has been the hardest thing that I have ever done in my life. I've done some challenging things. This has been the absolute hardest thing that I have ever done in my life. And I don't know. I really don't know if I have a second novel in me. I never saw myself as an author. I mean, I love reading Lamming. I love reading Naipaul. I love reading Walcott. But I never really truly understood what went into writing books like In the Castle of My Skin until I sat down writing my own novel. And so, I also think, Pearson, that writing a novel is a very personal, private journey. You don't want to go about telling people, I'm writing a book, I'm writing a book, and then suddenly you're distracted because people are always asking you, how far along are you? When can we can I get a first read? When is it going to be published? When is it going to be available? It's a really private journey, one that allows you to, go through this journey by yourself, and then ultimately at the end you can release it to the public. But I don't think when you're writing a novel or any book really that you need the distractions of people constantly asking questions.
No, we're really curious about this book. So it's an unending search. How can we get copies of it here in Barbados? Is it online? Do we get hard copies as well?
Yeah, looking at the Barbadian market for books is such an important market, and I'm really hoping Barbados is set to host CariFesta later this year in
Yes,
August,
August.
as well as and there's the very famous Barbados BIM Literary and Book Festival that is also very important on an annual basis. So those markets I'm definitely going to tap into. I'm also looking at Amazon.com, where regional and international readers of interest can tap into the book as well. But I'll be honest with you, Pearson, it is my intention to travel to Barbados to really tap into the Barbadian market, because it's such an important market for books. It's such an interesting market for book lovers there that it absolutely cannot, it's unavoidable really for any novelist.
So what we will say to you is hurry up and come home to us with the books. Bring them all. We can't wait to see them, and we can't wait to read the book, really, because I'm fascinated to see, because I've seen you, I've seen your work, and now I want to read your fictional mind to see what's in an unending search, the story of this young boy who has a dream. And as you said, maybe the dream takes him right back to where he began, because sometimes in dreaming, we didn't realize we had all that it took to get us where we needed to be here. We thought it was elsewhere, but perhaps that's what Tar discovered in his journey. I'm not telling you the book because I haven't read it yet, but certainly it's going to be a great read. And so Barbadian readers, lovers of literature, are anxious to have a copy of it. And you're right, because next weekend, well actually this weekend and the following weekend, we're having what we call a literary bus tour. We're going to be, literary artists are going to be reading from their novels. They're taking a bus tour, they're making stops and that kind of thing. So we're showcasing different authors, telling different stories at different points along the tour, engaging with the scene and the different sights and sounds. And then you're having a boutique, a book-tique at the end of it all, where those books are up for sale in that little boutique. So it's going to be fantastic. So can't wait to welcome you to Barbados. And when you come check us out here at the CBC.
Absolutely looking forward to it. And thank you so much to yourself as well as your crew, including Nadia Pearson. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Ryan Bachu, journalist with Guardian Media there in Trinidad and Tobago and with the NC3 television news department there as well. Thank you so much. All the best with this first, perhaps the first of a series of endeavors from you in book writing. So thank you very much, Ryan.
Thanks again, Pearson. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Ryan Bachu from Trinidad and Tobago, a journalist. The book is called An Unending Search. Search for what? Turn the pages when he comes and brings the book to you, and you will find out for yourself. 12 to 8. We're coming back in a moment.
No.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Tell me to lie hidden time for the wedding.
When the NASA start to play, everybody break away. Make way for the doula.
Our doula hen, the lawa kunjen. Make way for the doula.
We blaze fire, like nothing we praise fire. Fire. When they got me up, I go blaze fire. Fire.
That's a taste of carnival in Trinidad and Tobago as we stay in the Twin Island Republic. Joining me now is one of those soca artists who has been, as we say in the media, really blazing the track. And so we're happy to be joined this morning by Pretty. Pretty, good morning to you.
Yo, Mornin Barbados.
Well, good morning indeed. Well done. Thank you so much for joining us here. Talk to me a little bit about what you're doing right now for Carnival 2025.
I just destroying the place, you know. I just chilling on stages, making waves gyrate. That is my style.
You know, we have a saying in Barbados, mash up and buy back. In other words, if you destroy the place, you have to rebuild the place. I hope you're prepared to do that.
Yeah. Of course. I own the stage. When I step on stage, it's mine. I go mash it up. I go buy it back.
Talk to me a little bit about how long you've now been as a soca artist.
Well, I've been in the game a little bit over 11 years. I started off as a songwriter, wrote for Marshall Destra, Patrice Roberts, Farmer Nappy, King Baba, Alison Hines.
Wow.
Through my career, and then I got my first song on the sound rhythm called Wine and Champion, and then year after year I've been continuing to not only write for the artists but write hits for myself. Also, I've collabed with artists like If You See Me Talking, my brother, big up yourself.
Yes.
So yeah, man, legend in the making, man.
Boy, I'm telling you, I mean, what does it mean to you to be able to collaborate with these other artists? I mean, these are big names in the game.
Of course, for me it's an honor. I'm a fanboy. I always try to, I'm a lover of the culture. No matter which island, I think soca is an amazing genre, and I think Carnival in its whole entirety is an experience, and it's so amazing that Trinidad energy is different to Grenada and it's different to Barbados. So I feel like every single year I discover new things. So, working with artists, legends like Alison Hines and them, and them hailing me like I was a schoolmate. Oh, pretty easy word. Like, yo, it's kind of surreal.
Yes. Now you produced, put out really a lot of music already for the year 2025 for Carnival. One of your big ones, when you performed at Soul of Soca on the 19th of January, Blaze Fire. I am told that was an amazing performance and reaction.
Yeah, that was what I like to call a disrespectful performance. I have no respect for the stage. No, I don't respect the stage. That's my stage. So as much as shout out to Neutron, as my brother, but it was my event when I reached on stage for that 5 minutes.
Boy, I like your confidence. I absolutely love your confidence. But that speaks to then, talk to me a little bit about, okay, your name is Pretty. First of all, what does your name mean? And how do you go about marketing yourself so that you not just stay relevant, but that you stand out?
I feel like my name is oxymoron. I wasn't always this handsome, ladies. I grew up very poor, not having, and I feel like, my best attribute was, being able to talk myself in and out of situations. So, I think that contributed to me being a songwriter. So, they didn't know what I grew in and actually get handsome. So, kudos to Jesus. Well, shout out to the big man upstairs. He had a plan.
Yes.
And, my career is not really about being a superstar or being a celebrity. I think I want to be a legend. I want to be a living legend. I want to be, the Bob Marley of soca in whatever way you see it. But for me, I see myself having a long, illustrious career.
But there are others who are equally big, like you, Pretty, and so the space can be relatively big, but it can also be relatively small, because with each offering that you make, you're hoping to get the attention more so than anyone else. What is your secret? What is your formula you believe for success?
Oh, I am a beautifully acquired taste. I am a taste unlike any other. You don't get a pretty flavor from every artist. Me is me. I am him. He is me. I think when you look at songs like Lost and Found, you look at songs like Say Yeah, Away, each one of these songs have a different energy. So you will not get the same Pretty every single time. I try to embody and write music from real emotions, real life situations. And, I think that genuineness, my genuine approach to the music, I think will do well. I could dance. I used to dance at a dance group, but, I ain't going to see me dancing on TikTok regularly. That is not nice, that, man.
Well, you are hilarious. You're hilarious indeed. But you're looking forward now. I am told that you are one of my favorite artists, Patrice. You are preparing now for a collaboration with Patrice?
Yeah, we have an amazing song in the works. Right now, we actually teetering. I just got a call from management. We actually teetering, holding it back.
Oh, Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Listen.
and
Go ahead.
I was just saying that the season has been so amazing. I've had the season has started off so great. I have so many good music this year that I've been in a blessed position to have music that I could hold back for the next season. So, you never know. Wait and see.
But you're right. It has truly been a great season. And so with the little time we have left, I'm happy to know that you're joined by an award-winning soca artist from Trinidad and Tobago. If I said Ola, do you know who I'm talking about?
Come on, oh, loose legs, Ola Tunji, the big dog, of course, the legend.
Blessings, man. Don't know.
So Ola, he calls you the legend. I think for a lot of us in Barbados, not only do we know your music, but when you were on stage in that UK competition and you became so globally known, you even further endeared yourself to us in Barbados. Now that you reflect on that and your growth since that, how do you describe your music today?
My music is going down a vein where the calypso and the calypso is more prominent, is more distinctive, is more out there. Me coming from that calypso sound, and calypso being the mother of the Caribbean sound. So I think my music more going down that level of calypso, soca mix kind of vibes now.
And so you too have put out a lot of music for 2025. Is there a favorite you have?
From my offering?
Yeah.
Well, I have about 10 songs released this year. The thing is go. About 10 songs, which is, amazing. And I love the old age go catch up with you. So come on, let me take a little jam when we young, which was produced by Red Boys and written by Shaft. And my next one is give me rag and flag, give me rag and flag, give me flag and rag, give me rag and rag. I like that one day too. I like my Flagarama song. Yeah, a couple. I like it.
What was it like for you working with the Barbadian producers Red Boys?
I mean, it's always been an honor working with Red Boys. For the past 3 years, we've been working together. From the engine room to the inventor was Red Boys. And that was very successful for the past 2 years in Carnival. So it's always a pleasure working with them fellas.
Let me tell you, there's a magic to what you do, Ola Tunji, indeed. And so I'm glad that the Red Boys were able to find that space for you and create the kind of exposure and the experience. I mean, who doesn't love Engine Room? Who doesn't? That song was big in Barbados and continues to be big indeed. We played a lot here at the CBC. Pretty, what about you? Who did you work with to produce your music?
I work with an amazing producer by the name of Smitty, who belongs to a group called Star Blue. Monster producer. He did Beaten Road last year. He also did Feelings and Who Have It on the Cambule rhythm. So, I'm also working with Kit, Mevon. I think I'm working with all the big boys in Trinidad right now.
Yes,
and some from other Caribbean islands.
Listen, the secret is to work with some Barbadian producers here, I tell you. It's going to make a big difference indeed.
Cheese on, brother.
Yes.
I don't work with King Bob.
Sorry to cut you, and I think the main reason why we're here is to really feature, as he mentioned just now, the Cambule rhythm, which is produced by Smitty.
Yes,
the Cambule rhythm. So we had to big up Smitty. Smitty Smith from Trinidad and Tobago. And Smitty Smith is the one that orchestrated this interview here.
Oh.
So just like Pretty, I work with different various producers from all over the Caribbean, Trinidad, and this one especially that we come to feature is on the Cambule rhythm.
Right.
I have a song called Islands in the Sky. So yeah, I need to say that.
Nice, nice. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I mean, thank you for the music. Thank you for the excitement. Thank you for the joy that we get from the music that you produce. And really thank you for your contribution through your art form as well to the Caribbean. You're not just soca artists for Trinidad and Tobago alone. You've gone past your borders now and the world has really embraced you well. So continue doing well, making the music that makes us feel good as Caribbean people. Preeti's already going to the music. But thank you very much, Ola. And thank you, Preeti, as well.
Yes, of course. Blessings, man. Thanks.
Hey, shout out King Baba. Watch it.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much indeed. You can tell they're having lots of fun in Trinidad and Tobago. Carnival is definitely on, and these big artists are definitely a part. They've released tons of songs. And of course, you hear them on our radio stations right here, as after all, 98.1, the party station, is happy to partner and bring the music to you day by day, moment by moment. That's it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for keeping us company. Remember, tell someone about us and come back tomorrow to join. Our little crew says thank you to all of you, and we wish you a good morning. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados, good